Alright, good morning, class.
Good morning.
Alright, so today we're going to use a 2010 question paper to solve questions on database. To import our CSV file into the database. So to do that, you go to external, you go to text file. So when you click on text file, it opens for a browser. Within the browser, you locate the position of the CSV file. It's on my desktop and within the working area, and it's a 2010 access pass question. So that is what we need to import. So double click and click on OK. So we wait for it to come, and the next thing we do here is to click on next. Now if you look carefully at the first row here, we have make, model, size, price, skill level, weighing condition, use. Now all those you see at the top have different names from the ones below. So it tells us that the first one is unique, and that is the field name. So you have to select first row contains field names. I hope we all get that. Yes. Alright, so from here you go to next and then select advanced. Now within advanced you have the field names and then the data types. The question that you are solving should present you with the field names you have to change. So we have to open the question paper for 2010. So this is the question paper, and we have to see what we need to change within that aspect. Okay, so if you look closely at the data types we have here, make, the field name make has text, mode has text, size is number, and is to 1 decimal place. Price is currency, 2 decimal place. So we have to make sure that within the database everything match what is in the question. So we can find here short text. Because we have text attached, we don't do anything, we leave it as such. Now size is supposed to be what from the question? Size is supposed to be what? Numeric, integer, and the same applies to price. Yes. Okay, so what would be the data type for price? Currency. So we change it to currency. Okay, and what else needs to change from the question?
Skill level to text, condition to text.
Skill level to text, yeah. Condition to text. So let's check if that is what we have. So skill level is text, that is text, use is text. What about number? Numeric. Item is what? Boolean. So we have to change that one to yes, no. And once we finish with this, it means everything has been changed. We click on OK. Do you understand this bit? Yes. Alright, then we'll move on and click on next. Now if we look through the table here, anytime you find ID and labeled 1, 2, 3, it tells you that the table you have do not have a unique primary key that comes with it. Okay, and so because of that you select no primary key, and once you click on no primary key you go to next, and this is a table, so we just put TBL in front and click on finish. Okay, and then we close. Now the table has been imported without any error. Now let's look at the next question. What are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do?
Take a screenshot.
We have to take a screenshot. Okay, now we haven't finished with everything regarding the changing of the data types. Is that okay? We have to change size to 1 decimal place, and then currency also needs to be what? 2 decimal place. Boolean has to be yes or no. So let's go back to our table. So you go to, okay, so we go to view, and then we click design view. So under design view we change the size, and under size you can see that the decimal place is at auto. You change it to what? 1. So you change that to 1. And what of currency? 2. So you change the decimal place for currency to 2. So currency is this one, auto. So we change that to 2. And what else do we change? What else do we change? The stock item. We have to go to the format. And once we get to the format, we change it from nothing to yes, no. Okay? Having done that, you click on the data sheet view. It will ask you to save it. Save and then move on. Now you can see that the stock item appears at no and yes as we want. And you can see that the price is in 2 decimal places. Can you see that? Good. And then the size is corrected to 1 decimal place. Or it's rounded to 1 decimal place. Alright. So with that bit, we are done with the first part, which is question 35. Now it says that we should save a screenshot showing the field name and the data type. So showing the field name and the data type, you make sure you are at the design view. Okay? So the design view, you can see the field name and the data type. Can we all see that? Yeah. So you take a screenshot by using the snipping tool. Click on new, and then I take a screenshot, okay, of just this part. Can we all see that? Once you take the screenshot, you copy and paste into a Word document. So a Word document, the question number we are working on is 30. Below I paste the screenshot. Make sure that the screenshot you save should be legible enough for everyone to see. Okay, so I just have to make it a little legible. Now, so that is question 38, and the folder, the name of the file should be evidence document. Okay, and the screenshot for question 38. So 38 should be here. Okay, and then we'll delete that bit. Do you understand that? So for evidence document, this is all you need to do. In the 2016 question papers, question 35, not 38. All right, so we change it to 35. Marcello, thank you for the correction. So I was saying that in 2016, you are provided with the evidence folder or document within your. So you just have to open that evidence document and copy and paste the screenshot over there. All right, so quickly we move on to the next question. What's the next question say we should do? Okay, it said we should insert the following records. Okay, so to insert a new record, we have to go to the data sheet view. So when you go to the data sheet view, when you come down to where you have records, now you can see right here you have records. And beside records, you have 1 of 143. That shows you that we have 143 records within this table. Okay, so to enter a new, beside it, you find an arrow with a yellow star beside it. When you click on it, below it, you find new into bracket, blank, and then what? Record. So if you want to enter in a new record, you just click on that and it takes you straight there. So from there, we have to enter in, open Windows side by side. So once I do that, I have everything showing. So to enter in the new field, we have what? What do we have there? What do we have? Arash, and then the.
It's not double R, it's one R.
And then the next one is what? Vapor. And then you have what? 16. And then you have 999. And then beginner. And then you have the next one as what? Low. And then what do you have? Sky to what?
Sir.
Okay.
Number is 1.
And the number is what? 1. What next?
Stock item is here.
Stock item is yes. Now the yes, I can type in 1. When I type in 1, it will appear as what?
Hey.
Yes. All right. So I move quickly to the next one, which is what? Best.
Yeah.
And then what do we have?
Nemesis.
Nemesis. And
Size
then
12.
come again.
Size is 12.
Size is 12. The next one
979.
979.
Skill level beginner.
Beginner.
Win condition is medium.
Medium.
Use is kite surf.
What?
Kite surf.
Kite surf. Okay. Just like the first one.
Number is 1.
Number is 1.
And stock item is yes.
So we can also type in yes.
Yes.
Okay. Then the next thing we type in is what?
Eros.
Flow. All right.
Then 5.
We type in what? Flow.
The model.
Size is what? 5. And then price is
699.
and then we go to
Still level beginner.
okay. So still learning beginner. And then what do we have?
Condition is high.
High. And then
Use is kite surf.
kite surf.
1 and yes.
And then what?
1.
1. Okay, so we click on yes, or we can use 1. So once you click on the arrow key or the enter key, it brings you to a new record. But we are done entering the records. So you have to make sure that the record you have entered is exact as you need. So you just have to cross-check for any error. So if you see here, say that check your data entry for what? Errors.
Yes.
So you go through and find if you made any error in the typing. If you made any error in typing, it will affect your data. Okay, so let's check carefully to see if everything we need is correct. Is everything okay?
Yes, please.
All right, so we can say confidently that we are done with question.
12.
All right, 31, 36. Okay, so I'm just going to open everything again. So 37 says what? Save the data. This one is Coco. All you have to do is to click on save. Okay? So once you click on save, you are done. You are done with 37. So you've got 1 mark for saving at 37. All right, 38 says you should do what? Produce a report. And this bit is what is very important. To create a report, what do we need? A query. So we need a query to create what? A report. Now, before you create any query, you have to identify, is that okay? Or creating the query. There are keywords that help us to identify what needs to go into the query. And the first point here says what? Contains what?
Contains a new field called order.
Okay, so that part which says create gives us an idea that should be in the query. Okay, it gives us an idea that should be in the query. What about the next point? The next point says what? The next bullet says
has the order field set as currency with 2.
okay, so that will also be in the query. The next point
shows only the records when number is less than 2 and stock item is yes.
that is also in the query. The next one
Shows all the fields and their labels and full.
all right.
Which on a single page wide.
So field the next one that says fit on a single page wide goes to the report. Is that okay? So we use that part in creating the report. The next one says what? Has a page orientation of what? That also goes into the report. The next one. Please let's look at it. The next one is what? All right. So that aspect we can do it within the report and within the query. Okay. And the next part says what? Okay, so we do that part also in the report. Okay, we'll do the calculation part in the report. Are we okay? Then it says what? Includes the heading kite we need to what? Restore. Now, the kites we need to restore will become the name of the query. Once you use it as the name of the query, it becomes a heading for the report. Do we understand that? So anytime you see includes the heading kite we need to restock or whatever it is there that you need to use as a heading will become the name of the query you are creating. The next one says what? Has your name, center number, candidate number on the left footer of the page. So all these parts will go into the creating of the query, okay? Or we can do that in the report. Are we all fine?
Yes.
All right, so when we open, now we need a query. So we have to close the table. And then once you close the table, what do you need to do?
The query wizard.
Go to create and then query wizard. So I have to locate the query wizard and then I go to okay. I send in everything and go to what? Next, and then what do? Modify, finish. So once I do that, I can create my query. Now the first part says we should create what? A new field called order. So to create a new field called order, we go to the last field, which is empty. Is that okay? And then there are two ways to do this. You can either type in or use a builder. So we are going to use the builder. So when you click on the builder, you have the fields showed in where you have expression categories. Do you all see that? All right. And we are supposed to use, what do we have to multiply?
Price times Q.
So I click on price, double click on price, and then I click operations or operators. When I click on operators, I see the expression values here. Okay, under the expression value, the times is the asterisk. Okay, and then I click on what? 3. So that becomes price times 3. Once I'm done with that, I click on what? Okay. So I've created a new field and I have to change the part that says EXPR1 to order because the name of the field is what? Order. Is that okay? So having done that, we can run to see if it is done. So you can see that order has been created here as a new field and the calculation has been done. Okay, so if you look at the value here, which is the price, is 1,058.95 and it's been multiplied by 3 to give us 3,176.85. Are we okay? Right, so we've done the first part of the query. So we go back. The next question says what? Can you read it for us? Marcello? So that we know what to do quickly. The next bullet point says what?
Has the order field set as currency with 2 decimal place?
So currency is set to what? 2 decimal place. We've already done that. Okay. Now another way to do the same thing is to look here. If I click within the field currency, I right click and I come to properties. Okay. Now when I come to properties, here I have to select the format. The format here is what? Currency. And then under the decimal place, I have to choose 2. So to do that again, you go to price, right click within price, select the format to be what? Currency, and then the decimal place to be what? 2. Do we get that? All right. The next bullet point.
Shows, is that real? Shows only the records where number is less than 2 instead of
So the same number is less than what? 2. So within number, I have to type in what? Less than 2. We do that within the criteria. Okay. The next bullet point.
Shows all the fields.
Shows all the fields. So shows all the fields means that we don't have to untick any of this. Do we understand? So if all of them is ticked, it means it to show. If I uncheck one, it means that will not show. So here it says shows all the fields and they are labeled. So that will be done. The next part of the question says, come again. Stock item should be yes. Okay. So we go to stock item. And then under stock item, we type within criteria yes. Okay, so we type in yes. What next? What next do we need to do? The next bullet point.
Has a page. No, based on a single page, right?
Okay, that will be done within the report.
Has a page on a single page.
That also be done in the report.
Sort the data into ascending order.
So we are supposed to. Okay, we are supposed to sort data in ascending order of what? Which field? Make. So we go to make, and you can find sorts. Okay, so sort, we select what? Ascending order. And what else needs to be sorted? Is that all? All right, so we are done with that. So everything that needs to be done in the query has been done. Okay, so we can run and see what happens. Now we can see here that number is less than 1 and 2. Can we see?
Yes.
All the numbers we have here are less than 2. So we have 0 and 1. Okay, and errors also have been sorted in ascending order. Okay, so we'll have to click on save, and we are done with the query. So we're going to use this query in creating the reports. Are we okay? Okay, so let's close what we have here and then go back to create, and then go to what we use in creating the reports. The report wizard. So click on the report wizard. Once you click on the report wizard, you have the drop down here. Now we are not going to use a table in creating the report. Is that correct? So we go to the drop down and select what? The query. So import everything and click on next, and click on next. And here once again you can do the sorting of number. Okay, no, that was make. Is that correct? Make in ascending order. Click on next, and then the orientation should be what? Landscape. Okay, so you have to select landscape from here, and then go to next. What next do we have to do? What title do you want for your report? Okay, so kite for what? Kite site. Kite serve. Okay, kite serve.
Isn't it the kite we need to reach them?
So
Kite, we need to reach top.
thank you. Kite what?
We need to reach top.
We need to restore. Why do we have to put that there? Because it says includes what? Includes what? It includes heading.
Yes.
So that should be the heading of the report. Do we get it? Is that okay?
Yes.
All right. So from here, you can leave it at the preview, okay, and click on what? Finish. No, it's okay to leave it at the preview. We just want to see how it will look. So this is in the layout view. Oh no, this is in the print view. Is that okay? It's within the print view. So this is how it's going to look. We can do any modification by closing here, and then we come to the view and come to the layout view. Now when we come to the layout view, we can make adjustments. Okay, now we have to go to the far right to see if anything is missing. Now we can see that number here is not showing. Is it? Everything for number is not showing, so we can readjust. So we just have to readjust the cells here, okay, for everything to show. So to do that, I can click on the top and click on the down. So when I click on size and click on the one below, I find that everything is what? Selected. Can you all see that? Now when you see the hashtag, it tells you that there's a number hidden. It's not what? It can't expand.
Yeah.
It means you are not in the layout view.
It is the same as you.
You should be able to select the.
But can you select it?
It's giving us rows instead of
Yes, even as rules itself.
It's giving you what?
Rules.
Row. Instead of what? Column.
So,
Oh no, use the just click on the field, not on everything. Just select one field. So put the cursor on the field and click on it. When you put the cursor on the field and click on it, it will select. Okay?
So if I click on
You should be on the layout view first of
I
all.
always can't click on the field.
Make sure you're on the layout view.
There we are.
Please check again. Yeah, so it has selected, so it means initially we're not there. Okay, so once I click on the field size, are you with me?
Yeah.
Once I click on size, press the shift key and select the other one, which is below. So size, and are you okay? Okay. So we can also adjust by dragging and sliding. Just make sure everything is showing. Do the same thing for the price. Yes, Maria.
Still.
Which one?
It's still selecting it as a row.
Because you
You should make sure you are doing the right thing. If not, you will not get it. Okay.
didn't get the layout.
Okay. Then I can readjust the wind condition. Okay, just drag it a little to the right, sorry, left, and that way. Do the same for the use. So use the shift key, and that will help you to select the two so that you can easily drag. Make sure everything is showing. So for number, we do the same thing, just to make sure number is showing. Okay, and then the next one is what? Which one is a yes, no? Stock what? Item. Okay. You have to make sure there's a lot of space here for the model, so we can shift it so that stock item will show. Are we okay? So we are just readjusting it so that we have enough space for stock item. Okay, so we can just resize and then we'll get the whatever we need. Here the price went across the size, so we had to readjust that. Okay, and once again you can also change the way the the size look within the, okay, you can change it to left align. You can change the alignment to middle by coming to format. Is that okay? So when I click on format, I can change the alignment. Okay, so that it's well positioned. Okay, so now I have to readjust the price, or I can just select just the two and drag it. Is that okay? So enough space for the remaining items to show. Do we all get what we are doing? Okay. All right, so we'll do the last bit for the wind condition. And once that is done, we are okay to go. Now, I'm just taking time to do this. You should be able to do it with, less ease, okay? Any question on how to adjust?
No.
Okay. And you have to make sure everything shows. Okay. So we do that for number as well. It's not moving, so I have to adjust it a little. Okay. And then I have to take this to the left. All right, so that's fine. Now I need to draw your attention to something here. Look here. Now can you see a dotted line at the far end? Now those dotted line gives you an idea that that is where the printing will end. So if any of your work goes outside of that box, if it goes outside of this box, it means when you print, those will not show. Is that okay? All right. What else do we need to do? We can reposition the heading by just dragging it. Okay. What else do we need to do? There was one part that says we need to calculate something.
Yeah.
Which bullet point was that?
Calculate the total value of height.
Okay, so you should include what? The total value of what? Kite to be ordered. So when you come to kites, let's select kites. When you select kite, you right click. When you right click, you find out the order. It said we should do for order. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you come up to where it says total order.
Yeah.
Can you all find total order?
Yes.
Then what are we supposed to look for? The sum. Okay, or the total. So here you select on total. Okay, so once you do that, below it you find the total amount right there. Can you see that? So you can drag it a little down. And once you see the total, we want to insert a caption for the total.
A what?
Caption. So to do that, you come to, again, you right click, and then you have to select the one that says set caption. So when you click on set caption, you find out that it brings a caption there which says what? Order total. And you just have to change it to what? You change it to what? Total order, and not order what? Total. Is that well understood? All right, so that is the caption we have for that. Okay, so just like you can, when you go to format, you can find the underline sign. Okay, and when you click on that, that is done. So we have answered that part of the question. Any other thing we need to do there? What's the last bullet point?
Has the label total order from the total.
Okay, so has the label, and that is all we have done. What next?
Format this total by expense.
So it said we should do this. We should have what?
No decimal place.
No decimal place. Okay. Now we out view. So let's view. Now you can see that there's no currency attached to the total.
Yeah.
So what do we do? Click on it and go to properties. Once you go to properties, you come to formats. And then under format, you select what? Currency. And then it said it should be what decimal place? Did he say you should have 2 decimal place or no decimal place? 2 decimal place. Did the question say 2 decimal place?
Yeah.
So you have to select decimal place 2. Okay? And once you do that, you close it. And you can see that there's a hashtag there. What it simply means is that some of the information is missing. So I just have to expand it a little. And that is it.
Sorry, it says no decimal place.
No decimal place. So if it's no decimal place, you go to properties again. And then under the decimal place, you select 0. Okay? So you can see that there's no decimal place for the total amount. Is that all we need to do within the report? All right, so that is all you need to do when it comes to creating a report.
When you access the total value,
Yeah. The total. Okay, to calculate the total, we are asked to calculate the total order. Okay, the value for the total order. So all you have to do is to come to the field that has total order. Once you click on it, everything is selected. Okay, right click on it. When you right click on it, when you go up, you find total order. Can you see that? And within total order, you have sum. And sum is used to calculate the totals. So once you click on that, it's done. Yeah, Nana Kwame.
And so when you say you should do the text box in the total order thing. Like what was the English?
Which part?
The total order, the text box.
Okay, for the caption.
Yes.
Okay, so you click on the total, which has been done for you. Once you click on the total, you right click. When you right click, you find set caption. When you click on the set caption, it brings you the order total, which you need to change to what? Total order. All right. Any other question? We are do what? Name, center number. So you do that within which view? You go to home, come to view, and then we go to the design view. Now when you come to the design view, I'm just going to drag. Now can you find here report footer? Put the cursor right there, drag it a little down, and then we click on capital A small a, which is label. Drag and drop. Which section do we have to put it? On the far left, right? Okay, so you drag and release and then type in your name. So my name is Matthias. Label, we use label, the big A, small a. So that is label, and that is all you use to create names. If you use the other one, which has the text box, it's used for calculation purposes. But we are not using that. We are using the easiest approach. Is that what? And then your candidate number, mine is 00000012. Yes, a lot of zeros. So that is it for creating of report. Now remember, if you do not include your center number and the candidate number, everything you have done will get you a 0. So always remember to include your center number. They don't need your name because they don't identify people with their names. They identify people with what? Their candidate number. So always remember to enter the candidate number there. And so we can take a look at how our report will look. So we go to preview, view, and then we go to print preview. So when you go to print preview, that is how the label will look. Okay. Now you can see that your name, close it, go back, and then do the right thing. Okay, mine didn't show here, so I have to just readjust it. Make sure that it shows when I come to the preview. Okay, still not showing, so I have to go to the, since it's just one document, are you listening? Since it's just one print preview, it should show. Ideally it should show. Okay, once it's not showing, what I have to do to make it show is to go to view, go to the design view, and under the design view I have to drag the, okay, so you can find it right there. Okay, so to make it more legible, I just go to the layout view and adjust. So make sure your name is showing. If not, you score a 0. Now can you find that now it's showing?
Yeah.
All right, so that is all, and we'll go back again to the design view to go to our print preview. So the print preview, my name is right there, and always make sure you find your name there. Okay, and don't just say because you've done it in the design view it should appear. Make sure your name is there. They will not accept anything that is handwritten. Yes, it appeared on the next page. Now here we have only one page. I did what? Say that.
Yeah.
All right. So on this notes. So on this note we can. All right. So within the reports you have the page footer and the report footer. You use the page footer when you have only one page of the report. If you have more than 2 pages, use the report footer. Okay. So if you use the page footer, the information will appear, or the name will appear on only one page. But if you use the report footer, it will appear on all of them. So that's the last bit you need to know when it comes to entering in information in database. Right, so on this note, I encourage you to practice what you have done, and that's the only way you'll be good at it. Right, so bye-bye.